Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Gravity Daze walkthrough. This is episode 4, the Hekseville Phantom. So we're once again selecting the mission in the menu. It's going to put on a very helpful waypoint, and we're going to be using the gravity controls to get to said waypoint, which is going to be our next mission. And the good news about this game is the missions are usually short and snappy, and you're generally doing something different each time. It does affect the game in certain aspects because it does make it a little confusing and a little hard to follow and a little bit, all over the place and not really committing to any kind of real style of gameplay, but I think it's definitely the strengths of PlayStation portable games and PS Vita games, so I don't think it really detracts too much from this experience. And we're currently sneaking towards this waypoint, and if you follow the path that I just did, you'll not get any alert levels. If you deviate, there are soldiers in all kinds of goofy positions that are just trying to catch you out. It's very reminiscent of something like the infiltrating the castle in Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, because there's a bunch of dudes just waiting to spot you, and then it puts you back to the checkpoint, which can be a little bit annoying if you're not into stealth and you're not wanting to do such a section as this, but the only real pitfalls here is going too high or going too low, because there are flying police officers who will spot you if you do either of those things I mentioned. So instead, I'm going to be utilising our gravity adjusting powers to run on some of these strange surfaces and generally go towards the gems. That seems to be the port of call for this particular mission. Then once you're on this side bit, if you run towards the centre, or skate as I just did, it's going to trigger the next sequence here, which wants you to go all the way back to, is his name Flynn, I think? The nice dude who helped Kat at the beginning of the game. So we're going to be going towards him. However, there's going to be a bit of a shock twist, and then we're going to be fighting some Navi. So this is a good opportunity for me to talk about the abilities and to talk about the upgrades, because I've touched on them a little bit, but I've not really said too much. At this moment in time, I've recorded about the first 10 missions. Oh, he's called Sid, sorry, not Flynn. Why did I say Flynn? He looks like a Flynn, but he's called Sid. And the one thing you're going to notice here is I don't do a great amount of damage. The good news is the enemies don't do the biggest amount of damage to me, and it's not a game that is so intensive on the player that having insane amounts of damage early on is that important. That being said, you can upgrade Kat all the way to her limit at this moment in time by just doing the challenges and by collecting the gems and stuff and getting some serious rewards and making the playthrough even more enjoyable for yourself. I don't know whether or not I'm going to indulge in that, because I know I can do this entire game except for one area with a base Kat, even though I am going to be upgrading when I get them. I think the last time I checked my jewels I had about 20, and that's nowhere near enough. And the level I'm worried about is the one I've mentioned before, where you're falling down this hollow of a tree and you're being attacked by another person who has gravity powers like you. And it was really tricky the first time I did it, in a game where I literally didn't have to really try. I just smiled the entire time and had a ton of fun. But that one mission killed me about 5 or 6 times, and it was a difficulty shift pretty obscene. And I know why it was that way for me, it's because I didn't upgrade my life. The first thing every normal player on video games does is upgrade their life. It's one of those things that if you've been playing games long enough, you understand and appreciate the value of having high HP. It makes games easier. It's one of the things that everybody does, and I've kind of moved away from that way of thinking, even though I 100% agree with it, because I don't want to make the game easier. I want the game to stay at a level of challenge that means that I'm always having to play well. And my logic with this is, if I have to put myself in a situation where I have to play well all the time, or I get punished severely, that I will become a better player quicker and achieve a higher standard of gameplay, just in overall gameplay, really. In the end, I would like to feel like I know how to play the game at a pretty decent level. And in a game such as this, it might not seem like that big of a deal because it is very simple, and all I'm going to be doing really is spamming the dive kick because it's incredibly fun to do and it's really effective. But it can still feel great when you're doing everything right and your aim is accurate and you're quick and you just feel like you're on and you're feeling yourself. That's a great feeling in games, and this game definitely can give you that when you feel like you're destroying people and you're very mobile. And I recommend you try it out yourself, because It might not look like much when you watch this, but I think if you try it, if you rent it, you can probably have an even better understanding of what the game is like. And it might not be for you, but if it is, if you smile even half the amount that I was smiling while playing it, and I'm a cynical bastard, I think you'll have a great time. So thank you very much for watching, and you take care now.